Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Tucker Tuesday. What's going on out there, chat? How we doing? Happy Tuesday, everybody. What's going on? Fucking finally. Jesus Christ. Took me like 8 times to send out the tweet. What's going on, guys? How we doing? Let me... Fucking shitty what... Hey. What's up, everyone? How we doing? Let's see who we got hanging out in the chat. Oh, fucking back up. Hold on. Did everyone have a good Christmas? I hope everyone had a great Christmas, because this was a pretty rough year for everybody, man. This was a very, very rough year. But yeah, I hope everyone had a really good Christmas, because you know, all of us deserved it. No. Just no. We are currently sitting at over 100% rate. Nice. I travel with my family, first time in 5 years. That's awesome. My weekend was okay. My mom and I went out to eat. That's good. What's up, Newt? Oh, not a whole lot. Sin. I got a new sword for my collection. What you get? I see a lot of people hanging out on the Sinatra Says channel who should be on the Silent Sin channel. Do not link it in the chat. Go over to my Twitter or find the Discord to get in on it. It's a new channel. Everything's all set up over there. I am going to check the ratio, though. 31 and 31, not bad. 42-18, not good. And then 90 and 40, terrible. Terrible. Oh, my God. Why do you do this when I'm in the middle of a show? No, I'm not gonna get to it before it closes. Go to the other one. And the gym. Hi. Spent first Christmas in our new house. Oh, did you? That's awesome. That's awesome. First Christmas in 10 years. I'd been on my own. Tough times. Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Tempered replica of the Shadow Link's sword from Legend of Zelda. I don't know what that is. Fuck Sinatra Says all my homies watch Silent Sin. There we go. Not sure what we're expecting. Heavy rain in Orth, Oregon. You can tell I've had ample sleep. Orth, Oregon. We're supposed to get some pretty bad rain here too. It's been in the negative temperatures, and I was watching the local news today, and they were like, yeah, it's going to be like 55 tomorrow. I was like, what? They said, yeah, it's going to be 55 to 60 tomorrow. What the fuck? Am I losing my mind? Weren't we just being told we have the biggest storm in recent history bearing down on us right now? Well, that's going to be 55. It's going to be 55. Okay, cool. Great. That's awesome. My Witcher one is cooler. I mean, the Witcher's cool. Let me do the Googling real quick. I know what Legend of Zelda is, but I don't know what Shadow Link is. So copy and then paste. And I am not answering your text message, woman. I am a little bit busy. Oh, okay. It's just a recolored skin. That's pretty cool. That's actually very cool. I really fucking like swords. I don't know what the change was. Like I like guns plenty. I love my guns. I have a lot of guns. I love my guns, but I really fucking like swords. I really like swords. I heard that new Witcher show fucking flopped. I heard it was terrible. It got panned, bad reviews, and I saw a screenshot of one of the scenes, and it was like fuckity fuck. What is this, the $15 donation? In Ocala, Florida, it got down to 27 at night over Christmas. That's cold as shit for Florida. That's pretty cold anywhere. So, and they say that every year when it comes to storm. And you know, I got this fucking dumb bitch, a stupid woman at this. I had to go somewhere to get whipped cream chargers. And I talked about this story the other day. I had to go someplace to get whipped cream chargers because, you know, I make my own whipped cream. So I finally found a place that does it. It's in like fucking Independence, Ohio. So I drive my ass out to Independence, and I'm walking around the store, and I'm on the phone, and I'm like, you know, I'm talking on the phone, and I go, we've lived in Ohio forever. We should be used to the weather by now. People need to know what they have to do. They either stay home or they go out. They know. And some lady's like, are you a weather denier? I was like, what? She goes, are you a weather denier? I think she meant climate denier, because I said something to the effect of, this is no worse than any other year. She goes, are you a weather denier? And I said, what? What? And she started explaining it to me, and I just walked away. Because honestly, I don't give a shit what she's about to tell me. But I kept that one in my back pocket. I got called a weather denier. That's okay. It's fine. Sure, whatever you say. Whatever you say. Yes, I am denying the weather that is currently outside. I am denying it wholeheartedly. Do I need a comment to get a wrench again for this channel? No. I mean, yes. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely do. The weather sucks. Yeah, it's going to be shitty. It's going to be snowy. It's going to be cold as fuck. But we cannot shut down the world. Yeah, I'm in a fucking bad mood today. I'm in a really bad fucking mood today. It snows in the Midwest. I'm shocked. Yeah, people just have no idea. People have no idea that it can snow and be bad and not have wet and slippery. Like, if you don't fucking know that, you should stay home. And I swear to God, half the people out there don't know it, because holy motherfucking shit, do people not know how to drive? And a lot of it is so bad where it's like you can't blame the weather for your shitty fucking driving. You can't blame the weather for your shitty driving. Like, this one lady was driving the wrong way down the fucking street. Like, no, that's not the weather's fault. You're just a fucking dipshit. We got into single digit wind chills here in coastal South Carolina this week. Yeah, we got to like negative 40 something degrees. It was terrible. But, you know, you still have to do shit. I still have to come to the studio and do work. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just, I was raised by, I skipped a generation being raised. So like my mom was in the generation previous. So she had the mentality of, well, if it's still open, you got to go to work. And last time I checked, the fucking internet didn't call a day off. So I had to come to the studio Friday and Sunday because, you know, that's work. Whatever. We're either fine or fucked climate-wise. And how long has humanity been spewing carbon in the air? You can't reverse it in a few years. Well, yes, but also no, because we let the ozone layer, remember that whole thing? That healed up pretty quickly. I don't know what exactly happened there, but that healed up fine. I'm in a bad mood. It's family shit. I have come to a very stark realization that I can literally only rely on my mom and my brother and my family. It's terrible. So we wanted to get mom a chair. My brother and I. Oh yeah, I forgot. We're all on the regular donations now. We're on the regular donations. None of that Christmassy stuff. I am over Christmas. Today ruined me for Christmas. Vermont had an influx of out-of-state since lo mein lung pain. Oh, since lo mein lung pain. Watching them drive in the snow. Where'd it go? It's comedy. Don't buy snow tires, whatever you... Yeah, no, you can't do that. Surprisingly, my truck did all right in the snow. I haven't gotten the new tires yet because they just aren't available now. I have to wait like another month. A bunch of Callies moved here in the last few years. We had normally mild winters for a while. This year we had a normal one. Already seen some for sale signs from these dipshits. Get the fuck out of my red state, you commie bastards. True. Kara Soldier. While my mom is in Georgia over the weekend, it dropped 10 below. Her furnace didn't kick on because the cold was too much for the heat strips. She went out Saturday morning to hunt down heaters for us to warm up. Lots of fun that day. Yeah, true that. But we wanted to get my mom that lift chair, the electric lift chair. So my brother and I went 50-50. And then we're like, oh, well, okay, we'll ask our sister if she wants to get in on it. And she goes, yeah, I can do that.
877 cash now. 877 cash now. 877 cash now. 877 cash.
Pikmin for the 877. I forgot I made that one. That's good. Let me let me mark that off. I since I'm running it on 3 streams, I have to do it on a master sheet, which apparently doesn't even have that on it. So that's cool. So we were gonna, okay, we'll split it half and half, and then we're like, okay, we'll ask the sister if she wants to be involved. She's like, yeah, I would love to. And then we never heard from her. We just didn't hear from her. And then like 2 days later, she said, oh, I can't do it. And then she goes and gets a fucking brand new husky puppy. I'm like, I know how expensive those are. I know. And so I texted her and I said, hey, when'd you get the puppy? And she said, oh, we got it the day after Christmas. I was like, oh, okay. So I hope now that you have all this extra money to spend buying dog, puppy, and all the stuff to go with the puppy, you can help kick in on the chair for mom, you know, the thing that she actually needs. Just never heard back from her. Like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thanks. Appreciate it. Fuck it. It's, whatever. Whatever. I hear you on that. It's me and my sister that keep our family growing. Your brother can go, sir. Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. And especially, mom got fucked over pretty badly at one point. She got fucked over pretty badly at one point, and she has nothing. All her savings got taken. She wasn't scammed, by the way. Her ex-husband spent it all. But yeah, she has nothing, nothing to show for it. He stole all the money. Nothing could be done about it. So it's really up to me and my brother. And, you know, I'm trying to support a family with Shelly, a split 2 incomes on a family of 5. 5 doesn't go really far. I mean, we're doing what we can.
Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most infamous man-made disasters. Number 1.
The 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, the one that guaranteed women the right to vote, was ratified in 1920.
The first worm of the summer!
And it's not even it's not even anything. It's just, if you would have just said, hey, I'm getting a dog, I just can't do it right now, I'd be like, oh, fine, whatever, that's your choice. But no, I don't have the money, I fucked up my bills. Oh, I got a new dog. Okay, yeah, I see you. I'd rather have a puppy than get a chair for your old mom as well. Fair enough, Trex. Fair enough. Whatever. What can you do? What can you do? I claim first post Christmas Wormy Slurpy. A thank you, Sin, for the wrench on the Unspoken channel. Get it? Because it's the silence in. Matt Barnes, it's been a coon's age since I've been able to drop this. 97 watching as of this message. 22 likes. Can we get a 1-to-1 ratio chat? Thank you so much. User unknown, Matt Barnes, Pikmin, thank you guys very much. And all donations are super, super appreciated. But yeah, I've been in a shitty mood about it. It's so fucking cold, which is fine. I like the cold. But what I fucking hate is the dryness of the air. I have not had a single non-bloody booger or tissue in 48 hours because it's just so dry. I blow my nose and it's like ripping the hair out. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Except that last one, that was just like a perfect booger. But yeah, and it's only the one nostril that's super dry. Yeah. I love that. Oh, send me a picture of it. I'd love to see the spear. I'm a blacksmith. Do you have any tips for sharpening a sword? Dry, cold air wrecks my sinuses too. Dude, it's awful. It's fucking awful. I hate it. I just remembered I have a humidifier in here that I just haven't turned on. I need my doom and gloom news. I'm hungry for it. Oh, yeah, I do have saline. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. I use a whetstone. I know use a whetstone, but I'm lazy and don't have time. Is this where all the cool kids hang out? The coolest. The coolest. But yes, guys, it is about that time. Please smash that like button. Share it out on your favorite social media. And if you feel so inclined, please do hit up that Streamlabs. All the regular donations are back. So, like you just got your Wormy Slurpy, you got your 1920. Everything you love, everything you cherish is back. And please go over to the Twitter or Discord and find a link to the new channel. Go give that a subscribe. And let's get to.
I don't even know this person who claims to be my sister. Who to believe? Well, we thought it'd be interesting to speak to Meghan Markle's sister, Samantha Markle. She joins us tonight. Samantha, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Doesn't even look like Meghan.
So what do you make of her claim that she has no idea who you are?
Hi, Tucker. Thanks for having me. Wow. Just, it's been just a series of lies. And I can't believe we were essentially looking at $100 million fake news PR machine. It's just, it's projection at its finest. And it's almost comical. God, just so not true. And
we have a humidifier, user unknown, but Miss Sin refuses to put away laundry, so I can't turn it on because it's right in front of the humidifier.
The whole grandmother thing, that just did it for us. I think my grandmother would be rolling over in her grave if she saw that, and she didn't take care of her. She visited her. She never made apple butter with her because my grandmother was making apple butter like in the 1970s before Meg was even born.
I don't care.
Bill Melugin has covered the border more closely than any reporter in the United States for the last 2 years. And today, in his estimation, the single largest caravan of illegal aliens flowing into this country.
Belt sander. All right. Discord, please.
In his 2 years of watching, crossed today. He broke the story. He's got remarkable video for us. He's live at the border now.
Just another guy. I have been mixing my workouts. I do half 5x5, then I do half 15x3 or 15x4. Man, I today could not put my hand on the top of the steering wheel from chest day yesterday. It's a good one.
Bill, great to see you. What did you see?
Tucker, good evening to you. You mentioned it right off the top. This was easily the biggest group we have ever seen during our 19 months of covering this border crisis. And they all crossed illegally into El Paso last night. And we got some pretty wild camera footage to show you. Take a look at this. This was last night in El Paso.
Did you make that new dono, though? No, I did not. I have not been home like all day.
A massive caravan of over 1,000 illegal immigrants crossing into El Paso last night. Local media there reporting it was potentially up to 2,000 people, and that it was possibly the biggest mass crossing in the city's history. Now, as you look at the video, you'll see just wave after wave after wave of these people walking across the river and then gathering on the...
But I could probably do it now, actually. I could probably do it now. Lightweight, baby, lightweight.
U.S. side of the river where they kind of form a single file line, and you'll see that single file line start stretching almost as far as the eye can see, as again well over 1,000 people crossed there. And it was cold there last night, so you'll see many of them started setting camp.
Well, maybe that's when we just go, hey, if it's too cold for you, you don't have to be here. Goodbye. Don't let the door split you where the good Lord fucked you.
The first worm of the summer!
That is a classic. That one is definitely a classic at this point. Spoofers, the Slurpy, the King returns. I mean, there it is.
Fires in an effort to keep warm, and CBP sources tell Fox News that over the last 24 hours in that sector in El Paso, there have been more than 2,400 illegal crossings.
Thank you,
Border
spoofs.
Patrol there has more than 5,000 migrants in custody.
Let's see if I can get it where it should be.
Your tax dollars to produce choreographed dance videos for social media consumption, sort of like the COVID nurses. Postmodern psyop. It's just a grotesque postmodern psyop, and anyone who's fallen for this is brain damaged. This is the same Ukrainian Defense Ministry that lied about the ghost.
Perfect.
Right now, they're completely overwhelmed, completely over capacity, so they've started mass releases of these people. They're just dropping hundreds of them off at a time in El Paso City streets. So the question here, where did all these people come from? We'll show you. They were busted.
Where did they come from? Where did they go? Where did they come from? Cotton Eye, you guy.
In with a Mexican police escort. Take a look at the second piece of video here. Fox News on scene in Ciudad Juarez as about 20 of these migrant buses filled with these migrants received a
All right, just another guy. Tell me where you want it. What do you want to set it at?
Mexican police escort into Ciudad Juarez, the city directly across from El Paso, and then they were all dropped off at local shelters and NGOs there in Juarez, but of course they didn't.
I like the idea that they're keeping these people in like an APL shelter. Like this is Juan. He is a 15-year-old Hawken. He's skittish at best. He's very nervous, but he's ready to go to a loving home. It just slays me.
Stay at those shelters. They all started walking over to the river, walking to the border, and as you can see from the video, they started crossing en masse. Bizarre to see the Mexican government essentially escorting them there to have them cross just a few minutes later. And back out here live, Tucker, the numbers just exploding here at our southern border, with the U.S. Border Patrol chief saying in the last 48 hours, there have been more than 16,000 illegal crossings, averaging out to...
And we have the regular 110 back if you guys want to hit that. I'm curious to see which one you guys like more.
8,000 per day. Send it back to you.
Biggest crime.
Psyop sounds good. Oh, that's good. That would be 7467. Do we have one at 7467? 7467, 7467. Isn't that a little bit much, don't you think? A little much? I mean, it's yours to call. We do not have one at 7467. Okay, let's do it and test it. Test. Nope, apparently not.
It's just a grotesque postmodern psyop, and anyone who's fallen for this is brain damaged.
That's fucking perfect. That is literally fucking perfect.
Time of our lifetimes. Bill Mugin, thanks so much. Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. The contrast between El Paso, Texas and Juarez, Mexico has always been one of the great advertisements for America and for the American way. The cities have a lot in common. They're literally right next to each other. They're separated by one of the narrowest stretches of the Rio Grande River by feet. From downtown El Paso, you can see downtown Juarez. And the populations are not that different. Most people in El Paso have relatives in Mexico. The difference is one city is American and one is not. El Paso has always been tranquil and orderly, a really nice town. With good schools and friendly people, you would move there. Juarez is terrifying, chaotic, impoverished, dangerous. In 2010, Juarez recorded more than 3,000 murders. In El Paso, just yards away, there were 5. So on one side of the river, you had a high-functioning civilization, ours, and on the other side, you had the third world. And the success of El Paso said everything about the superiority of the American system and American culture. But 2 years ago, Joe Biden set out to change that. It was an offense against equity. They were too different. But instead of fixing Juarez, he decided to destroy El Paso and make it much more like Juarez. To do that, the administration opened America's southern border to the world. No place in our country was hit harder by that decision than El Paso, Texas. In the last year, illegal immigration into El Paso has risen by over 280%. Hundreds of thousands of foreign nationals streaming in, jobless.
What do you think about 3226? Damn.
Penniless, anonymous. What happened next? You know what happened next. The most predictable disaster in the world. Crime skyrocketed. So
I'm absolutely shocked that crime would skyrocket when it comes to something like letting in tons of people who don't respect your law. Why would crime go crazy? There's no way. I don't. Wow.
Social cohesion collapsed. Test scores in local schools plummeted, and the city began to fall apart.
That
People
works,
who
all right.
grew up in El Paso started to leave in large numbers. This is what it looks like now.
It's a chilly December night in El Paso, Texas, and these migrants are homeless, camping on the streets, preparing for a night of bitter cold after they were released from Border Patrol custody. The migrant surge also overwhelming local shelters as this unprecedented crisis seems headed for a potential breaking point, with Title 42 set to drop next week. And there is no reprieve coming, as new Fox News video shows over 1,000 migrants camped at the border wall in El Paso last night, waiting to be let in for processing after they crossed the Rio Grande illegally.
Yeah, who would have thunk that? I can't believe it. I am shocked and appalled and blown away. That's just, wow. Okay, 3226 is set.
CBP sources tell Fox News the El Paso sector has already seen over 139,000 migrant encounters since October 1st. That's enough to fill up LA's SoFi Stadium twice, and it reflects a 255% increase over the same time last year.
But notice how they won't even give you the inkling that it could be a cunt hair over the 11 million. We have 255 more than last year, but there's no way it's more than 11 million.
Imagine if that was your city where you work and raised your family, the city that you built. And then one day some guy gets elected and decides to destroy it, and the media ignore it. No one even covers it. Most Americans have no idea your city has been destroyed. And it's not just downtown and the shelters, it's the airport. The window into El Paso. In case you haven't flown there recently, here's what it looks like. People seem to be camping on the floor of the place. Looks like the train station in post-partition Calcutta. But at least they had a war to blame it on. There's no war in Texas except the war the White House declared on its own country. This footage comes from Katie Davis Court of Rebel News, whom we'll talk to in a moment.
I just landed in El Paso, Texas, and here at the El Paso airport is an influx of illegal immigrants sleeping on the airport floor. Take a look at what's happening here in the airport. ¿Dónde son? Peru? Peru. Everyone? ¿Dónde son? ¿Dónde son? Dominican? Dominicana?
Why do we have these people? That's interesting. We have Dominicans, a lot of them. Colombians, okay. Just more facts we're not allowed to talk about for some reason. We're just not allowed to speak on certain things. It's okay. But why?
Colombia.
That's the airport. They're not waiting for flights, they're living there. And they're not from Mexico or even El Salvador and Guatemala. They're from, as you just heard, Colombia, Peru, the Dominican Republic, an island. These are countries thousands of miles away, to which we owe nothing. There's no reason for this. There are 7 million American men of working age who are not working.
Very little Cubans, I've noticed, because the benevolent Camel Toe Harris said that Cubans would not be let in. Cubans are just straight up not allowed to come. Do not come, if you remember properly.
They're on the internet all day. They have nothing to do. and yet we're doing this. The mayor of El Paso, Oscar Leeser, has just declared a state of emergency, and you can see why.
We felt there was proper time today to call a state of emergency. And the reason why we're doing it is because I said from the beginning that I would call it when I felt that either our asylum seekers or our community was not safe. And I really believe that today our asylum seekers are not safe.
I think that's a donation too, by the way.
Safe, as we have hundreds and hundreds on the streets.
El Paso wasn't like this just a few years ago. Ask anyone who went there. So the question is, why isn't the state of Texas stopping this? Where's the Texas National Guard? A few months ago, Greg Abbott, the governor, was running for office. He was running against Beto O'Rourke, and he was willing to say anything to get reelected. He was willing to lie, and apparently he did. He said he deployed 10,000 troops to the border. Oh, but he hasn't. He just revised it to 5,000 troops. And then he came up with another solution, just bus thousands of migrants to...
That Cuban hate shit drives me nuts. Pitbull hate stems. Well, that's the reason they told Cubans they can't come, because Cubans don't...
$15, little man. Put that shit in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me, oh.
My jungle love. Yeah. I don't expect special treatment. I just want to be treated like an illegal immigrant. True, but thank you very much. But immigrants don't, or Cubans don't tend to vote Democrat. So that's why they're like, yeah, we don't want you here. They're fleeing communism. Yeah, we don't want you here.
Other states, which is kind of funny. Makes for an amusing cable news segment, but it's still our country, isn't it? And none of these people are ever leaving. This is an invasion of our country. We don't have a border. And Greg Abbott could stop it, and he isn't. So why isn't the Texas National Guard stopping this?
Because they're probably not allowed.
We can't answer that question. We'd love to have Greg Abbott come on and tell us. But because Texas isn't securing the border, the rest of the country is also overrun with people from foreign countries who have no right to be here and whose identity we don't know. At exactly the moment, we do not need a larger population as our economy.
Yeah, we need to take care of what we have and to do what we can to reduce inflation. That should be the #1 priority.
Move south. This is what Denver, Colorado, a long way from the border, looks like now.
With several shelters already at capacity, Mayor Michael Hancock said more are needed to house migrants. More than 900 have arrived in Denver in the past several months, more coming every day.
So let me be frank. This influx of migrants, the anticipated nature of their arrival, and our current space and staffing challenges have put an immense...
Oh, cool, just another guy, thank you. And if anyone wants to try the new dono out, it's $32.26, I think.
Strain.
I will check the P.O. box in just a couple of days.
On city resources to the level where they're on the verge of reaching a breaking point.
That's in Denver. Again, a long way from our southern.
And last interruption, just to talk about stuff. I will check the P.O. box in a couple of days, and I should have the McKinley packages ready to send out either the end of this month or very early next month. Or, I'm sorry, the end of January or very early February. So if you want to get in on a McKinley, now's your time.
Border. This is the biggest story in recent American history. A total change in the American population. Millions and millions and millions of new people.
And I may or may not have lost my list of McKinley members, so I need you guys to send me your information again.
The country will never be what it was 5 years ago. Even if you're It's just a grotesque postmodern psyop, and anyone who's fallen for this is brain damaged. It's just a...
That's a really good donation. That came out really nicely. Thank you for reminding me. Just another guy, Matt Barnes. You smell that in the air, boys? Smells like 479 AD. I don't understand, but I'll take it. Thank you.
Knowledge. This is a big deal, and it's completely ignored by the media, except when they are forced to respond and they tell you to shut up and stop complaining. On ABC News, someone called Martha Raddatz argued that actually it's people...
Raddatz? Martha Raddatz? Raditz? Martha Raditz. Is that a serious name, Martha Raditz? Raditz. Raditz? This Raditz?
People who are against immigration
Hey, Sam.
to blame for the immigration crisis because they're talking about it and therefore advertising it to the rest of the world. Watch this.
You talk about the border wall, you talk about open borders. I don't think
You talk about border wall. You know anything about a border wall? I'll show you a border wall.
I've ever heard President Biden say, we have an open border, come on over. But people I have heard say it are you,
I was about to demand my wrench back.
our former President Trump, or Ron DeSantis. That message reverberates in Mexico and beyond.
The Roman Empire
they do
fell.
get the message that it is an open border, and smugglers use all those kinds of statements.
You do fervently wish, say, 25,000 Haitians would move to Martha Raditz's neighborhood tonight. Maybe she'd give different coverage. But until that happens, and since they've been deported from Martha's Vineyard and all the places people like Martha Raditz live, the Democratic Party is, well, able to continue lying. Here's Senator Sherrod Brown of Ohio explaining that really only racists and crazed conspiracy nuts care about the border.
You know, there's a lot of folks in the middle who are not very empathetic to what's happening at the border. How do you change the tone of that conversation to get them to accept a compromise, like the one that Cinnamon Tim?
Why the fuck? Okay, what? Hold on, I gotta pull this back. What? Wait a second.
Racists and crazed conspiracy nuts care about the border.
You know, there's a lot of folks in the middle who are not very empathetic to what's happening at the border.
Okay, hold on. Why the fuck do I have to be empathetic for people coming to my country to not contribute to the shit that we're in?
How do you change the tone of that conversation to get them to?
If this motherfucker's in Cleveland, I want to have a conversation. I invite him to come sit down here in my studio in sunny Cleveland, Ohio, and have a conversation.
Accept a compromise, like the one that Cinnamon tell us we're trying to put together.
I think they will. I think my voters are in Ohio reasonable, and we're a slightly lean Republican state now.
Oh, it's Sherrod Brown. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I don't hear a lot about immigration from voters, except people on the far right that always want to gain political advantage by talking about it.
It's amazing. That's Sherrod Brown, supposed populist from Ohio, a guy who cares about the little guy and displaced factory workers.
I can confirm he does not.
And those 7 million working-age American men who aren't working and are playing video games and watching porn all day. That's your country. Sherrod Brown was elected because he claimed to care about them. And in fact, it wasn't that long ago that Sherrod Brown was down at the border declaring a humanitarian crisis because people were living in cages, people from other countries. Now that same Sherrod Brown says you're not allowed to talk about anything that's happening at the border. People camping on streets or at the...
You need a border to have a country. If not, you are in...
$15, little
man. Put that shit in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me. Oh. If you don't have a border, then you're just an open piece of land. That's it. I just got back from the gym and took a warm bath. Now I'm gonna light a doobie and watch my favorite streamers for the rest of my day off. Life is good. Spookski, that sounds fantastic. Trying to tell Miss Sin she has to go to the gym today, but she doesn't want to. Thank you so much, Spookski. Very generous, very kind. I hope you are well, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. Give me my wrench back, or I'm going to drive up to Cleveland and give you a flu hug. Or you could just ask, you piece of shit.
Airport? You also, by the way, can't talk about conditions inside migrant detention centers anymore because they got a Democratic president now. Texas Representative Tony Gonzalez just went to one. He shot the footage you're seeing on your screen now. That's a detention center in El Paso. It was intended to hold about 1,000 people. There are now more than 4,000 inside of it. They're about to be let out onto the street of El Paso. Does Sherrod Brown care?
No.
What does Martha Raditz think of this? Again, let's hope every one of these people winds up in their neighborhood. Subscribe to the Fox News.
Yeah, but they won't. And if they do, they're going to do what they did last time this shit happened. These far-right extremists are dumping the trash. They said the fucking trash. These far-right extremists are dumping the trash in my neighborhood. Oh, boy. Oh, fuck me sideways. They're so predictable. All right, let's take a look at them ratios. We got 100-something people watching on the main channel and 60 likes. Not math. We have 70-something people watching on the new channel. 60 likes. Not math. We have 130 watching on the Screams channel and 70 likes. Not math. Guys, smash that like button. Share it out on your social media, and if you feel so inclined, please do hit up that Streamlabs.
Today we're counting down our
Like that.
picks for the top 10 most infamous man-made disasters. Number 1.
The 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, the one that guaranteed women the right to vote, was ratified in 1920.
Do you see what you did? Do you see what you did, Sam? Instead of just asking for it, you had to be a dick, and look what you did. Sinatra, can I have his wrench? I'll be a good boy with it. Maybe. Dislike Addison being a meanie to his Comic Club bunny. Thank you, Matt. And Fake Gamer Cat, I see you, Spookski. Hello. Fuck, what was I just saying? A new channel? Yeah, The Silent Sin. Please do not link it in the chat. It's on Discord. It's in the pinned comment on Discord, and it's on the Twitter. So you can go find it there. I don't know why. I don't have any reason to think this. But I think just not... I think not putting the link in the chat is probably a good idea. Do the like, the share, the slabs, and oh yeah, go sub to the new channel.
So...
That one was off. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can't link the Streamlabs on the new channel. Yes, also the Christmas one is better. Well, that's because you did the short one. We have the full long one on here. I feel a little bit duped.
Elon Musk, if you read him on...
Oh, you said it right there, not specifying which one though. You fucking piece of shit. True to her word, fair enough. But I also didn't say that Sam couldn't have his wrench back.
Twitter sometimes seems a little flaky, but watch what he's doing. You know he's serious because he has put two of the best reporters in the United States, Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger, on the Twitter files. In other words, to find out what exactly has been going on at that company for the past several years, and more specifically, to what degree has it been penetrated by governments, our government and foreign governments, in order to spy on people and shape the political conversation. So Michael Schellenberger has brand new reporting on this. And according to his
Thank you, Miss Sin.
findings, Twitter's general counsel, that would be the former FBI lawyer Jim Baker, repeatedly argued that the Hunter Biden laptop story should be censored. Twitter also received many secret communications from the FBI just hours before that story was published by the New York Post. And then in September of 2020, Twitter executive Yoel Roth attended a tabletop exercise at the Aspen Institute on a potential hack and dump operation involving Hunter Biden.
It's weird. Is this not the actual definition of gaslighting? I love that. A Fake Gamer Cat, but I was already planning on a kitty because cats. Fair enough. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Really? So how did they know it was coming? It was almost like the government was spying on people and stealing thumb drives at a UPS sorting centers. What's going on here exactly? Michael Schellenberger broke this story, and we are always grateful to have him. He joins us now. Michael, thanks so much for coming on. So there's so many parts of this, and I hope that our audience will read what you've written about it.
I love that cat. Government gaslighting is just propaganda, which is just news. Yeah. Gaslighting motherfuckers get whatever it costs to buy. True, someone hit the 110 so I can get the full epicness. This shit makes me want a 110 through... Never mind.
But how would you summarize what you found?
Sure, well, it's good to be with you, Tucker. Well, we spent a couple of weeks looking at a lot of the internal emails and Slack direct messages among employees at Twitter.
Whoa, what is going on? My kilobyte per second ratio keeps spiking up to 5,000 and dropping to 2,700. But when it spikes up, it goes red. What is happening?
And the picture you get is one of existing FBI agents outside of Twitter and former FBI officials joining Twitter. You mentioned the former general counsel of the FBI becoming the deputy general counsel of Twitter. Also, the deputy chief of staff of the FBI went to Twitter. In fact, there were so many FBI officials at Twitter that they had their own internal messaging system. They actually had their own cue card to kind of...
Do they have their own WhatsApp? It's like FBI boys. If they call themselves the boys, the Fed boys.
Train people going from FBI to Twitter. And so there was this...
Gaslighting at these prices is insane.
Relentless pressure by external FBI agents on Twitter to basically adapt its content...
Oh, fuck, that's good. Only Feds? Nice.
...moderation, also to share information. Then you had these forces inside Twitter, former FBI officials...
I don't care what anybody says. Hunter still has a crackhead smile.
...particularly Jim Baker, who very strenuously argued for the censorship of the New York Post reporting on the Hunter Biden laptop and the emails which showed these very questionable business dealings with China and other countries. So, Tucker, more investigative work needs to be done, but this looks like a kind of psychological operation that you would see the CIA conducting in foreign countries, not something that you would see intelligence agents in the United States perpetrating against both news organizations but also social media.
The last public opinion poll I saw showed Congress had an approval rating at about 9%. By contrast,
Set 4, let's go. I fucking feel you on that one. The Omega Simp, completely unrelated to these news stories, I assure you. Yeah, no, that has nothing to do with the other. No way, no way. Thank you very much for the 4238, sir.
Platforms, namely Twitter and Facebook. It's a disturbing pattern that I think our reporting today showed.
So, I mean, when I read what you wrote, I mean, it seemed exactly what you just said, like a classic intel op, but aimed at the American population. I mean, that's illegal, isn't it? Or am I naive?
Absolutely. And there's some key facts that every American should know about. This is not a partisan issue. You do not want your most important police organization, the FBI, politicized and engaging in dirty campaign tricks. People need to know that the FBI had this laptop belonging to Hunter Biden in December of 2019. You then had the FBI for all of 2020 running an operation to convince news organizations and social media platforms that there would be some sort of a leak of Hunter Biden information right before the elections of 2020. You also had Giuliani, who was under FBI surveillance, give the laptop to the New York Post, and then you see a very interesting exchange of information between the FBI and Twitter around that period and back and forth. So there's a lot of smoke. I think the bottom line is we need a serious congressional investigation, and we very well may need an independent...
That's never going to happen, though. It's never going to happen. And I appreciate the thought, but these people will never investigate themselves. How many times have I uttered the words, the government investigated the government and found the government?
877 cash now. 877 cash now. 877 cash now.
Hello, Mr. Sin. I hope you like the painting I made of you. Oh, the portrait. I do. It's so fucking good. It is so fucking good. Once I finish the painting, I will be sending it to you. By the way, what is your favorite drink so I may add it to the painting? Ooh, my favorite drink. My favorite cocktail. Oh, fuck me. Oh, man. Favorite drink. I'm going to have to go with the classic. An Old Fashioned is got to be my favorite. It extends the flavor of the spirit. It has just that little bit of sweetness. You can't go wrong with the orange oils on it. It's so good. It's so fun. Yeah, I got to go with that. Yeah. Thank you, Gator. And the portrait is fucking amazing.
And a prosecutor to weed out.
Ooh, a Manhattan is a good shout. A good shout. Ooh. Yeah, I got to go with an old fashioned because if you're doing a portrait, like my second favorite's a fucking melon ball, and I don't want a melon ball in the portrait.
These politicized elements of the FBI.
That's exactly right. In October of 2020,
Here's the studious Rembrandt-esque picture of Sanute and a melon ball. No, it's got to be an old fashioned.
thumb drive of ours was stolen out of a UPS sorting center. It's bothered us ever since for the last years. How could that happen? But you're starting to explain how it might have happened, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Please keep going. Michael Schellenberger, great to see you. Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly. If that seems out of...
All right, I'm going to check that ratio. I heard it's been getting better. 120, 90, not good. 70, 70, okay. 110, 80. How did that one get worse? Guys, smash that like, share it out. Go sub to the new channel, The Silent Sin. It should show up. A Harvey Wallbanger. Why? I just heard about that. How did I just hear about that? Go sub to the new channel and all that fun. So you guys know the thing. The thing. Drink made of vodka, Galliano. I just saw another drink made with Galliano. Orange juice, a variant of a screwdriver. Ooh.
Control. If you're starting to conclude that the federal agencies are out of control and have hollowed out democracy to the point where it's not recognizable, here's a shocking story. New reporting.
What do you think about Destiny's response about the leaks? I don't know what you're talking about.
From John Solomon at the website Just the News reveals that DOJ began spying on the U.S. Congress in 2017. Specifically, DOJ sought grand jury subpoenas for the personal emails of at least 2 staffers on the House Intel Committee, including Kash Patel. Now, this is right around the time the House Intel Committee was probing the Russia collusion hoax. Now, Devin Nunes, you would think, would be beyond attack by the agency since he was the chairman of the House Intel Committee at the time. He was the guy overseeing the intel agencies. But it looks like he wasn't, we now know. Devin Nunes joins us tonight. Congressman, thank you so much for coming on.
Great to be with you.
I should say it looks like
he basically thinks it's a nothing burger. Look, I like Destiny. He's got some good takes. For the most part, he's got a decent head on his shoulders, but some stuff I feel like he just outright denies or finds a way to trounce arguments. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but yeah.
you were spied upon as well. What do you make of this now that we know it for sure?
Well, look, at this point, Tucker, it appears to be that it's not just a couple staff. It looks like it probably is more. We only have a couple subpoenas at this point, so this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. And what this is remember, they targeted my lawyers. So, and if you go back to the time frame, what was happening? We were in a brawl.
I am putting the link to the Discord and all the chat, so if you want to join up, that's how.
With the Department of Justice and the FBI because we caught them spying on the Trump campaign and other Republican operatives in 2016 that continued on to 2017. At this time, we had confronted high-level folks at the highest level of the Department of Justice and the FBI saying that, look, we think you guys might have a problem here too. Maybe you should recuse yourself. Maybe you shouldn't be involved. You would have thought they would have got to the bottom of it. But instead what they did is they did this cute little way of reverse targeting me by going after my staff to figure out how did we know this information? What were we going to do with this information? And this was all just months before we made this all public, that the FBI used the Clinton and DNC dirt to spy on.
Lightweight, baby.
Trump and the Trump campaign.
You can't have a democracy in which unelected bureaucrats with guns control elected officials. That is not a democracy.
Not only is it not a democracy, but that is an actual. These people love talking about it's a threat to our democracy. It's a threat to our democracy. It's a threat to our democracy. But I don't think they know what that means. They keep saying that word, but it doesn't mean what they think it means. Like, you have to mean this kind of stuff. You cannot say something is a threat to democracy when it isn't, and stuff that is an actual threat, you ignore it. That's bad news bears, and you really don't want that.
Why does no one burn this down and start again? It's the most serious possible threat. It's a much greater threat than any foreign government. Why does no one ever do anything about this?
Well, look, we tried, Tucker, and we made 14 criminal referrals. I assume John Durham has that. Now, look, a lot of these referrals did involve lying and misleading Congress, obstruction of justice. These are all things, if I'm John Durham, I know that they're trying to close him down. The Biden administration has closed him down, but I think Congress, my former colleague, should be pushing this information, ask Durham to look at this, because this is clearly in the realm of what John Durham's scope was to look at. And I know he brought some cases in D.C. against citizens. He has yet to bring any charges against the very people who we trust with these really high-level powers that appear to, well, not appear, they did. I mean, they turned it against the United States Congress to try to figure out, either to try to figure out what we were doing or try to get blackmail on us.
And it's very clear that members of Congress are being blackmailed. I can say that, maybe you can't, but it's true, as you know. Devin, I appreciate your coming on.
It's definitely pretty apparent. I don't know anybody who can look at everything going on and go, oh no, this is completely normal. This is totally stuff that happens. This is absolutely totally nothing to be worried about. Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine.
Thank you for bringing Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. This past summer, which is just a few months to go before the midterm elections, the Biden administration faced a huge problem called the economy. Most voters vote on the basis of the economy and how they feel they're doing and how they feel their country's doing. And their country at the time was not doing well. The U.S. economy had just recorded 2 consecutive quarters of declining GDP. That's not just an academic observation. That's a technical definition of a recession. 2 quarters declining GDP. Recession. We're not making that up. You'll find it in every economics textbook ever written. Go look up the one you used in college. But the Biden administration could not admit that. If they admitted the U.S. was in a recession, they would lose the Senate. They would lose control of both chambers of the Congress.
So, and again, like just another guy was talking about. Godspeed, little buddy. Hi. Sadly, it'll get worse before any changes will come. But hey, at least we have space otters. That's a fact. That is a fact. Thank you, Mock Machine. I do love the space otters. That is one of my favorites.
So they had to lie about it. But how do you lie about something that's so easily defined that everyone can see? Well, you just change the definition. And that's what they did. They came up with a new definition of recession. So don't look at GDP. That's the old way, the racist way of assessing the economy. Look at holistic factors, said the White House. Look at the labor market, for example. The labor market. Well, then, in June, the Bureau of Labor Statistics gave them ammunition for their case. The Bureau of Labor Statistics issued a report that showed the labor market was strong. They determined that the U.S. economy had added more than 1 million jobs in the second quarter of this year, from March to June. 1 million jobs! That's a big deal. It's a big story. And of course, Joe Biden wasted no time in touting it. Watch.
Our job market remains historically strong. Our economy created more than 9 million jobs since I came to office, in no small part because the people on this stage. Our economy created more than 1 million jobs in the second quarter.
1 million new jobs in the second quarter despite negative growth. Wait a second.
And creating 1 million new jobs is not what happened. Reclaiming jobs is not creating them. And Scribe will beat this point into the dirt, which I believe he should and does and should continue to do so. But yeah, that's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It just isn't.
How you get 1 million new jobs with negative growth? That seems like magic. How is that possible?
Why is it called negative growth when it should be called stagnation?
But no one in the media asked questions. Instead, they repeated the White House line, which was the BLS report, the Bureau of Labor Statistics report showing 1 million new jobs proves we can't be in a recession. They all said it, quote, the jobs report suggests the Biden economy is not in a recession, wrote the New York Times. And then, of course, there were other stories like that, too. So on the basis of that and other factors, they won. They now have control of the Senate. And now we get to learn the truth. 1 million new jobs, really? The Philadelphia Fed decided to check those numbers, and they found the U.S. economy did not add more than 1 million jobs in the second quarter of this year. Instead, the net addition of jobs was about 10,000. So that's less than 1% of the job growth the administration claimed. That's not a rounding error. That's not a minor math mistake.
Listen to that again.
Jobs, really? The Senate. And now we get to learn the truth. 1 million new jobs, really? The Philadelphia Fed decided to check those numbers, and they found the U.S. economy did not add more than 1 million jobs in the second quarter of this year. Instead, the net addition of jobs was about 10,000. So that's less than 1% of the job growth the administration claimed. That's not a rounding error. That's not a minor math mistake. This is a country that supposedly sent a man to the moon. We can do math, right? This isn't like thinking you had $100 in your pocket and...
Could you imagine the absolute fucking panning? The shit that would be thrown at them from 1 million miles away if they turned around and said, yeah, it is actually just about 10,000 new jobs for the entire year. That would, holy shit, fuck, that would, I don't even know. That would probably have got him, he probably would have been impeached.
Finding out you had 85, this is like claiming you had $1 million in your pocket and finding out you had 10,000. This is like claiming you were rich when you were actually bankrupt. This is a lie. So how'd they get it wrong by more than 1 million jobs? How did they construct this lie? Well, as of tonight, we're not really sure. We now know that BLS numbers didn't just help Joe Biden, though. There was another purpose. These fake numbers also gave the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell,
hey, JK.
A justification to continue raising interest rates. On the basis of that report, they can raise rates. Here was Powell just a few days ago.
Today, the FOMC raised our policy interest rate by 0.5 percentage point. We continue to anticipate that ongoing increases will be appropriate in order to attain a stance of monetary policy that is sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2% over time. Despite the slowdown in growth, the labor market remains extremely tight, with the unemployment rate near a 50-year low, job vacancies still very high, and wage growth elevated.
Wage growth is elevated because inflation is through the fucking roof.
Job gains have been robust.
I can tell you that mostly because I was demonetized across the board, but my income took a stark dive.
Ooh, every word of that, a lie. The justification is a lie. And in fact, as Powell well knows, there are 7 million American men of working age who are not working. They're watching the internet all day. So why are they lying to us about this? Well, the effects are very obvious. Go try and take out a car loan or a home loan or any kind of loan. Or if you have a loan, it's got an adjustable rate. Watch how much more you're paying per month. So why are they doing this? Well, the administration wants Powell to raise rates because they think it'll offset the inflation that Joe Biden's policies have caused. But this is a huge problem for everyone else. Raising rates when the economy is faltering and people don't have jobs, if you keep doing that, you could cause an actual collapse. That seems like the course they put us on. The Biden administration got the interest rate hike it wanted, even when the labor market has been flatlining. William Beach runs the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Marty Walsh runs the Department of Labor. They need to explain why anyone should ever trust the most basic economic numbers government issues ever again. And it's one thing to get the numbers wrong, but then to base future policies on numbers you know are wrong, what is that? That's what they're doing. Jerome Powell should probably answer that question fairly soon. He won't join us tonight either. Subscribe to the Fox.
These people cannot be held accountable, not only because they just refuse to, take responsibility, but because they are protected. And I feel like I have to keep explaining this because I don't feel like I do a good job. But Biden is protected from this stuff because of his woke platitudes. Well, we did the Protect Marriage Act. We are protecting marriage. Yeah, but you lied about all your numbers. But look at what we're doing with transgender rights. What? What are you talking about?
As we said, Josh Hawley represents Missouri in the U.S. Senate, and he joins us tonight to explain his speech. Senator, thanks so much for coming on. So tell us why, you're a U.S. Senator. You helped negotiate trade deals, but you mentioned human relationships. Why?
Well, somebody's got to be honest and tell the truth to these young men. And the truth is what the porn industry is selling them is a total lie. And the truth is American society needs them. We need them to step up. We need them to go get married and have families and be responsible husbands and fathers. This society is impoverished because too many young men are too despairing or too checked out on social media or porn to be doing what we need them to do as a country. It's time to call people, to call young people in particular and young men to be something more. And Tucker, they want to be called to it. They don't want to be sold the bill of goods anymore. Somebody needs to tell them the truth.
I was not listening to any of this. Sorry. I was reading something on Twitter. I got to pull it back.
As we said, Josh Hawley represents Missouri in the U.S. Senate. And he joins us.
Big Dave. Yes, he is not worried about making actual improvements to the day-to-day people. He is using his ESG, his woke score, to kind of counterbalance the actual harm he's causing for him and his family's personal profit.
Tonight to explain his speech. Senator, thanks so much for coming on. So tell us why, you're a U.S. Senator. You helped negotiate trade deals, but you mentioned human relationships. Why?
Well, somebody's got to be honest and tell the truth to these young men. And the truth is what the porn industry is selling them is a total lie. And
how?
The truth is American society needs them. We need them to step up.
What? The porn industry is taking young men away from America? And you should really word it better than the American industry. That's a bad phrase.
We need them to go get married and have families and be responsible husbands and fathers. This society is impoverished because...
Okay, no, shut the fuck up. The porn industry is not doing that. Women, how many times have we covered articles where it's like even women will not swipe on any man or will not talk to or give any man a chance unless he's like a 7, 8, or a 9? How many times have we covered that in an article? How many times have we talked about that? This is stupid. This is fucking stupid.
Because too many young men are too despairing or too checked out on social media or porn to be doing what we need.
They're too checked out on social media or porn. What? I don't get it. Josh, are you on Twitter? Do you use Facebook? Do you campaign online? Well, then you're part of the social media thing.
Need him to do is
I think I like that one better than the Christmas. I think I might like that one a little bit better than the Christmas. Hold on. We can get into this in a second. User unknown for the big 110 for Miss Sin, Mrs. Sin, Mama Sin, and the baby Sins. Have a happy new year. Thank you so much, user unknown. Fucking incredible. Let's get a big thank you to user unknown. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Okay. Every single thing he just did, blaming porn for the checking out of men of relationships and society, because men are somehow checked out of society. Every single thing that he just mentioned can 100% be laid on the institutions that exist. Colleges have a 3-to-1 female to male a 3-to-1 male to female enrollment. Divorce is like 90% initiated by women and take half of the men's money. There's the old meme of the 666 rule with women. He has to make 6 figures, be 6 feet tall, 6 inches. This makes sense if you just don't think about it at all. Exactly, Sam. If you just don't think about it, what he's saying makes sense perfectly. But men aren't having a failure to launch. They have nowhere to land. And most men just don't want to deal with fucking women anymore. And sure, there's thoughts. There's always been hoes. But guess what? A hoe isn't ruining your relationship. I could not disagree with this more. I literally could not disagree with this more. You have to go for the issues, not the symptoms. Porn is not causing young men to check out of society. Young men aren't getting child support and raked over the coals for their money watching porn. Young men are not being falsely accused of rape watching porn. Young men aren't catching STDs watching porn. I cannot disagree with this more. I literally cannot. And as far as social media goes, yeah, okay, people are way too into social media. People are way too into their technology. It's fine. You're on social media, so I can just reject all that you're saying with that outright, Holly. You have a Twitter, you have a Facebook. I can reject everything you say outright because I'm not going to do something that you yourself don't practice. You cannot swing. Let's say somebody wanted to convince me to stop drinking. Like, here's all these different things. Here's all the reasons why you should stop drinking. If you drink on Saturday, if you stop drinking, you'll have a better day Tuesday. And just lists a bunch of reasons that make no sense. But at the end of it, it's like, well, you still drink? Well, yes, I do. Well, why should I listen to you then? Why should I listen to you? There's no good women out there anymore. I disagree. None worth your time. I disagree. Especially when you work 70 hours a week to survive and take 60% of your income when they get bored. The only problem with porn is my left hand cramping. Yeah, I just, yeah, and you can't even really hit on a woman that you see at a bar or at your workplace. You can't just approach them because it's sexual harassment. You get kicked out. It's just it's interesting. This is a dumb statement. I think he is completely wrong.
Country, it's time to call people, to call young people in particular and young men to be something more. And Tucker, they want to be called to it. They don't want to be sold the bill of goods anymore. young men are too despairing.
Let me pull it back
up. We need them to go get married and have families and be responsible husbands and fathers.
Yes, you are not allowed to make the choice to not have children. You have to keep making new taxpayers for us.
This society is impoverished because too many young men are too despairing or too checked out on social.
See, this is the issue, man. Is this guy claims to be getting up here and talking for young men, and then he turns around and blames men for society being impoverished.
Media or porn to be doing what we need them to do as a country. It's time to call people, to call young people in particular and young men to be something more. And Tucker, they want to be called to it. They don't want to be sold the bill of goods anymore.
I don't see anybody holding men down and telling them they have to watch porn.
Or somebody needs to tell them the
I'm
truth.
not quite sure what to make of that, but I know that when I shake my finger in your face, it adds emphasis to words that otherwise make no sense.
It's not porn ruining this nation, or no, it's the porn ruining this nation, not war, profiteering, money laundering, trafficking, media fear campaign. I'm going to add on to this list if you don't mind. Draconian laws over rampant censorship, wild inflation, the carelessness of people, the dumbing down of America. It's none of that. It's porn. Thank you, Mock Machine. Men who say there are no good women are men that count as a problem to the men group. There are good women out there.
No,
you just got to work for it.
I think that's exactly right. But you're one of the very few people who said anything like this. Certainly one of the very few elected officials, because it's considered really embarrassing to notice this is happening. Why don't more people say it? It seems like it's transformed our society completely.
Yeah, well, I think that's because the liberal culture, what the message to young people is.
I blame naked ladies on the internet. Fuck off, idiot.
The most you can aspire to in life is.
Sin, do you think porn isn't addictive? Literally anything can be addictive. Literally anything.
To be a consumer who sits in a cubicle in front of a computer all day and doesn't ask any questions and doesn't do anything meaningful with your life. And what we need to say to young men and young women too is just the opposite. Aspire to be something more than a consumer.
Okay, and yeah, we blamed a lot of women here, but we gotta turn it back around because every issue is solved with a little bit of introspection. Guys, stop fucking pitying yourself. Go for a walk, go for a jog, go lift weights, go read a book. Everybody is good with a little bit of self-improvement.
Consumer. And for young men, aspire to be something more than a consumer pornography. Aspire to actually create something in your life, like create a family, for instance.
Create new taxpayers for me to leech off of while I don't actually do anything to make the world better. A very few LMAO, every right-wing moral guy on the internet screams this shit. Everybody can go with self-improvement, and I'm not some right-wing moral guy. I'm just telling you my thoughts. I'm not going to sit here and go, porn is immoral. Porn is ruining America. The issue is the porn and women. No, you guys out there, most of you, and this is this is meant for everybody within earshot, present company included. We could all go for a walk. We can all go to the gym. We can all read a book, except Diavolo. Diavolo is physically a perfect specimen. Go fuck yourself. But we can all do something to improve ourselves. There's nothing stopping you from improving yourself one way or another.
That is.
Yeah, go camping, catch a fish, start a fire with sticks. There's always something you can do.
The single greatest act of rebellion, if you like, against the liberal culture that is suppressing people's desires, that is suppressing their potential.
That's who he's talking to, though. Not the baby on the drama or jobs. Young men in basements giving any bit of money to a girl on OnlyFans for any bit of attention. That is not what he said.
Is to go out and actually engage in real relationships, get married, have a family, have kids, have your own ideas, and be a responsible member of society. I mean, this is what people are built to do. And again, it's what young people want to do. They want to be challenged in this way.
Right. No, and I'm sure clips of you saying that will be everywhere. later, and all the cool kids will making fun of you. Cool kids who are.
And I got to tell you, if you are a guy out there that knows, if you can go, yeah, I can lose a little bit of weight. I can just don't join the Andrew Tate cult. I can lose a little bit of weight. I can pick up a skill or two. I can figure out some survivalist stuff. I can read a book. I can listen to a book. If you are aware that you are able to self-improve a little bit, you are better than 80% of people out there. Because most people don't. And they don't care to.
Not yet 60 and childless. I hope you keep saying it, because I think it's clearly true. And I think it's brave in the context of today. Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Subscribe to the Fox News.
I think blaming porn and social media is just the dumbest fucking statement you can make. The absolute dumbest statement you can make.
As far as we know, no one's ever addressed the United States Congress in a sweatshirt before, but they love him much more than they love you. Welcome to Tucker Carlson's Night. Remember when Sam Bankman-Fried showed up in Washington wearing a T-shirt?
I remember. Salty's joining the Tate cult lately. Tate is literally 50-50 for me. Half of the shit he says, I go, oh, that's pretty good. And the other half, I go, did an actual retarded person steal Andrew Tate's phone? Because, like, the one that caught me recently, we said, don't read books. Books are for nerds. And he's trying to sell a book. Like, okay, did an actual fucking Down syndrome person steal Andrew Tate's phone?
And spouting nonsense, and all the self-described geniuses declared him a hero? The media, the Congress, the White House, they all love this weird little guy called Sam Bankman-Fried. Do you remember that? Somehow we were reminded of it today when the president of Ukraine arrived at the White House dressed like the manager of a strip club.
I don't know what to think of Tate. Tate has decent takes, but when he starts getting braggadocious about his money and the shit he has and what he's done because he's good at punching people in the face, that's when he kind of fucking starts getting me the wrong way.
And started to demand money. Amazingly, no one threw him out. Instead, they did whatever he wanted. American taxpayers declared Joe Biden will
Yeah, and Salty is now on it too. Is he really?
continue to give Zelensky whatever he demands for, quote, as long as it takes. Tellingly, Biden never specified what it is, as long as it takes to do what? Push the Russian army back to pre-invasion borders? Sounds reasonable. That's what most Americans likely assume.
I saw a tweet, and we talked about it on the AAA Friday. I saw a tweet that said something like, you go tell this man to his face that he doesn't deserve our tax money. Like, I'll go write it on his fucking forehead with Sharpie.
Those who are still paying attention. But that is not what Zelensky means, and it is not what he is asking for. Zelensky is demanding regime change in Russia, just like in Iraq and Libya and a long list of other failed states, except this time in the heart of the Eurasian landmass, next door to the entire civilized world. That's what Zelensky...
Tate has a lot of good ideas. I am ambivalent on that as well. But if he doesn't brag about his money, no one will join his How to Be a Better Man and to get more money. You know, if you want a honed-in version of what Tate does, Jordan Peterson is pretty on point with a lot of his stuff.
He has called for repeatedly, and every dollar we send to him goes toward that end.
Terrence Popp is another pretty decent guy. I feel like I give good advice, but I just don't spit it out. Like, I don't have those long, drawn-out ideas. I need scenarios to respond to.
At this point, he's getting a lot closer to achieving it. So what happens if he, quote, wins?
He'll probably throw that flag in the trash when he gets up. No, he'll probably try to sell it.
What does the ensuing chaos look like? Thought about that? Who's going to secure the world's largest nuclear arsenal once we help Zelensky topple the Russian government? Who replaces Putin? Strangely, those topics did not come up today, because that wasn't the point. The point of today's visit to Washington was not to make the world more stable or make wise decisions, much less to help America. That's always at the bottom of the list. The point was to fawn over the Ukrainian strip club manager and hand him billions more dollars from our own crumbling economy.
To Ukrainian strip club. Hey, this is the perfect time for the fucking, what is it? 3226? Shit, I don't remember what I said it at. I already forgot. Yeah, 32-26. Now's the perfect time for it. Tate's a hype man. Pop has seen some actual shit. I mean, yeah.
It is hard, in fact, it may be impossible to imagine a more humiliating scenario for the greatest country on earth.
Well, that's the thing, is nobody is going to be 100% right 100% of the time. It's just not going to happen. You have to look at someone and go, okay, does the right weigh out the wrong more? You have to weigh it out.
And we would love to blame Joe Biden for it, but we can't really, not entirely at least. This was bipartisan masochism. The Uniparty is alive and well, despite the best efforts of voters, including last month. And if you doubt that it's alive and well, here's...
Ooh, that's a good one. If the answer to becoming a person is behind a paywall, it's probably not good advice.
Here's a picture of Zelensky that he had taken with a group of elderly Republican senators in Kiev back in May. They stand grinning next to him in their orthopedic shoes.
He's such a fucking manlet, too.
70-year-old Susan Collins, John Barrasso, John Cornyn, led by their 80-year-old ringleader, Mitch McConnell. 44-year-old Zelensky poses between them in a skin-tight polo shirt, flexing like a weightlifter and trying to look ferocious.
His biceps are the size of my forearm. He's a whittle bitty boy.
Seem awestruck.
Oh. That's an alarm I haven't heard before.
Not since a young Fidel Castro showed up in New York wearing battle fatigues has this country's aging leadership class tittered more loudly in delight. They love a man in uniform. What a hunk.
Anything behind a paywall is a grift. Okay, no. That's not true. That is not true. But yeah, if you are completely selling yourself as a self-improvement person and your entire self-improvement course is behind a 3-figure paywall, then you might be an asshole.
So strong and decisive. Look at the expression of Mitch McConnell's face.
So if anyone's curious what my goal body looks like, it's going to be Henry Cavill with like 30 extra pounds. That's where I'm trying to get to. That's where I'm trying to get to. Off with the goblin's head. Thank you, Spetsnuts. Can we get a big thank you in the chat for Spetsnuts? And off, and I'll just pick another random one. Nice. Delicious. Yeah, I want I want a little I want a tummy. I'm not going to, I know me, and I know I'm not going to work to keep a 6-pack abs and like the perfect chiseled stomach. So I got to be realistic.
Giggles of pleasure. No rational person assessing the issues ever would have predicted this moment. If you were a Republican office holder and Zelensky came to Washington, maybe you would, for a moment, ask him about his current and ongoing war against Christianity in Ukraine, especially if you were, say, Mitch McConnell or John Cornyn, and a lot of your own voters go to church on Sunday. They might care about that issue. Oh. But McConnell and Cornyn didn't mention that. They didn't say a word. You will not hear a word on television tonight about the fact that Zelensky has banned an entire ancient Christian denomination in Ukraine and then seized churches and then thrown priests into jail.
But remember, Tucker talking about Zelensky declaring war against Christianity, which by all accounts he has, is fake news and deserving of him getting banned.
According to Mitch McConnell, who apparently hasn't left his office since the mid-'80s, anti-Christian despotism is what most Republicans want.
Look, I'm a realistic guy. And I either want to be where Henry Cavill is, or I'm just going to look like Eddie Hall. Like it's going to be one of the two. I'm going to be like Henry Cavill, or I'm going to look like Eddie Hall. There is no between. Well, I'm looking for a picture of Eddie Hall. Hold on. Before he started Tren. I need Eddie Hall before he started Tren. Like it's going one of two ways for me. Here we go. Like I'm going to be a chubby Henry Cavill, or I'm going to be Eddie Hall. I just have to figure out which way I'm going.
Above all, they don't get enough. They're just begging for it. Watch McConnell explain.
Providing assistance for the Ukrainians to defeat the Russians, that's the #1 priority for the United States right now, according to most Republicans. That's sort of how we see the challenges confronting the country at the moment.
And 2 other senators stand behind him, nodding like it's true. Defeating Putin is, quote, the #1 priority among Republicans, says Mitch McConnell, who...
Yeah, I keep thinking chubby Henry Cavill, then I'm like, I like beer too much, so I'm going to have to go with Eddie Hall.
leads Republicans in the Senate. #1 before our own economy?
I got to hear what he said.
How we see the challenges confronting Ukraine.
Most Republicans want above all. They don't get enough. They're just begging for it. Watch McConnell explain.
Providing assistance for the Ukrainians to defeat the Russians, that's the #1 priority for the United States right now.
No, it's not. It's not. Why would it be? Why the fuck would it be?
Now, according to most Republicans, that's sort of how we see the...
You might have to deal for a slim butterbean. That's kind of where I'm at now. I'm definitely more defined than butterbean.
Challenges confronting the country at the moment.
And 2 other senators stand behind him, nodding like it's true. Defeating Putin is, quote, the #1 priority among Republicans, says Mitch McConnell, who leads Republicans in the Senate.
Fucking sellout piece of shit. God damn. By the way, the new goal is up. I hope you guys like it. But fucking Christ.
1 before our own economy? Or our own children's schools, or for that matter, before the more than 2,000 young people killed last year by fentanyl in Mitch McConnell's, quote, home.
Hey, your top priority should be making sure that the taxpayers in your country are able to afford food and heat, you scum fuck.
Home state of Kentucky. Punishing Vladimir Putin for putting Donald Trump in office is more important than all of that, says Mitch McConnell. Ukraine's borders matter. Ours don't matter. You may have suspected they thought that, but at this point, they're just coming out and saying it's right in your face.
So Newt's about to be the next liver king. Here comes the supplement cells. No. I have sworn that I will never do another round of Tren. I'm shaky on it, but I do too much shit to make and sell supplements. Fuck that shit. You know whose supplements I did buy though and really liked, but just can't afford to keep buying are Mark Labierre's. His are good. His protein powder is very tasty.
Face. And of course, the White House agrees completely. Watch Mitch McConnell announce today that you'll be paying for ever more advanced weapon systems to be sent to Ukraine, whether you like it or not.
We're going to continue to strengthen Ukraine's ability to defend itself, particularly air defense. And
with our money, by the way.
That's why we're going to be providing Ukraine with Patriot missile battery.
You know, the thing they promised not to give them?
And training your forces to be able to accurately use it.
He's reading his little script. Maybe it was written by the defense contractors that just hosted an event in Washington for the Ukrainian ambassador. Literally, they put their logos on the invitation, just in case there was any question about what's going on here. So this is a big change from...
The only supplements you need really is collagen, BCAA, and multivitamin. I am a big fan of creatine monohydrate. It makes you have to piss like a motherfucker, but it's very good. I take pre-workout protein, multivitamin, prescribed vitamins B, D. I've been taking C because I've been feeling under the weather and around sick people. But yeah, I don't take collagen and BCAA. What is the benefit of those?
What we had, say, last month. But you wouldn't know that from the media coverage.
I just like how that fucking welfare queen is sitting there nodding his head like, yes, you are giving me this money.
Of it. Your average reporter in Washington likes Zelensky a lot more than he likes you. So nobody asked about it. But this is a major policy change. It was just a few months ago that a senior U.S. defense official said, and we're quoting, "There is no discussion about putting a Patriot battery in Ukraine. In order to do that, you would have to put U.S. troops."
Hydroxycut. I take oh, what is it? It's not hydroxycut. It's oxylete.
With it to operate. In other words, you would have to fight a hot war against Russia, which has not only not been approved by the Congress, but most Americans have no idea that's happening. But now it is happening. Did you know that? Are you for that? Is it the most important thing? More important than your nephew dying of fentanyl? Yes, says Mitch McConnell.
No. God, no. My cousin overdosed and died last year. And that is like that's got to be the 15th person I know personally that's done that. Oh, joints and skin, I could use that. Okay, collagen BCAA added to the list. I'm out of pre-workout, so I'm going to have to go get some more. So I'll pick that up too.
But it's just the beginning. Because as you just saw, Zelensky has arrived in Washington to make more demands. He's the house guest who would not leave. And every moment we tolerate him, the demands become bigger. In case you missed it, here's part of what he said just a moment ago.
Financial assistance is also critically important.
He even talks like he talks like a manlet who's trying to put oomph in his voice. Like, you could tell that his voice would normally be like this, but he's got to make it gravelly so it doesn't sound so polywordy.
And I would like to thank you very much. Thank you for both financial packages you have already provided us with and the ones you may be willing to decide on. Your money is not charity.
It certainly feels like it's going to a charity that doesn't do what it's supposed to.
An investment in the global security and democracy that we handle in the most responsible way.
Didn't we cover a thing that 70% of the money and arms we send him don't even make it to the fucking fight?
So the leader of a foreign government, dressed in a sweatshirt, waltzes into the United States Congress and starts demanding money, and then has the gall to tell the people sitting there who are giving him tens of billions of dollars more of your money that it's not charity, it's an investment. Really, what are the returns on that? And by the way, what's the point of it? What is the goal here? What's the justification for it? Do we have a historic debt to Ukraine? No. Do we have a historic animosity with a non-Soviet Russia? No. How do we win here? What's in it for us? Isn't this our country? And where do you get off talking to us like that? Do we hate ourselves so much? Do we have so little respect for the United States of America that will put up with that, that will applaud it? Thank you, sir.
Apparently.
May I have another? What's wrong with us? What's wrong with our leaders? And where's this going?
Right to shit. It is going right to shit. But, guys, we're going to head on over to Twitch a little bit early. I know. But I am fucking... Okay. No. I mean, we are. We are. It's absolutely fucking charity, you disingenuous little shit. I mean, yeah, that's absolutely accurate. But guys, we're going over to Twitch early because I am starving and want to cook dinner, so we're going to do our Twitch stuff. And then that, yeah. So I'm throwing the link in the chat, guys. If you're not coming over to Twitch, that's fine. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Thank you for an incredible, incredible show. So head on over there, and I will be there in